We now move forward to the very first panel discussion of this evening and turn our attention to one of the most exciting avenues of sustainable development, ecotourism for the future. This session will explore how tourism can go beyond leisure to become a powerful tool for conservation, community empowerment, and responsible growth. Together, our panelists will shed light on how we can shape ecotourism for a greener and more inclusive future. Chairing this session will be IFS officer Mr. Vidya Bhushan, whose leadership and vision have been instrumental in shaping many conservation initiatives. And moderating the discussion, we have senior journalist Mr. Manoj Singh bringing his insights to steer this important conversation. It is my honor to welcome the esteemed panelists who will guide us through this vital discussion on ecotourism today. Joining us is Ms. Sejal Vohra from WWF India, a true advocate and practitioner of ecotourism, Mr. Anup KR, a 2005 batch IFS officer and the field director of Ranthambore Tiger Reserve. He is an accomplished conservationist with rich experience in wildlife management and protected areas. Mr. Nishant Verma, a 1999 batch IFS officer and a passionate advocate of eco-friendly travel and nature-based experiences. And Ms. Deepika Chaudhary, director of TOFT, Travel Operators for Tigers, a leading organization championing responsible wildlife tourism across India. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome them all with a huge round of applause.
Thank you everyone. A very good evening. कहते हैं नदी को और वो अपना रास्ता और अपना संतुलन खुद तलाश लेती है और जंगल को रहने दो, जंगल भी जानवरों के साथ मिल करके अपना रास्ता और अपना संतुलन खुद बना लेते हैं. लेकिन हम जो लोग हैं, we are the people who interfere in that ecology and we destroy that ecology very often. But thank God we have some wonderful people here who intervene in that thing and they probably stop us and educate us कि हम कैसे उस इकोलॉजी को डिस्टर्ब ना करें. एंड जो आज का हमारा टॉपिक है इको टूरिज़म फॉर द फ्यूचर, एक बहुत बड़ा विषय है जिस पर मेरी कोई एक्सपर्टी नहीं है, बट थैंक गॉड वी हैव आवर चेयर विद्या भूषण सर. सो आई विल रिक्वेस्ट यू सर टू guide us through this whole conversation and set the tone and context for the conversation.
Thank you, Manojji, and good evening to all my seniors, respected colleagues, and all the members. So this topic is very relevant for all of us, not only from the conservation point of view, but for cultural heritage and economic growth point of view also. So it is a way to have a sustainable development in the remote areas. So that is the overall context when the ecotourism was developed. If you see its present sector contribution in the GDP, so tourism contributes around 6 to 7%. And out of which ecotourism is a significant contribution, which is around 9 to 10%. But its future growth is projected at a compounded annual growth rate of 15 to 20%. So at present, it contributes around 1.6 lakh crore rupees in the tourism sector. And around 4 crores of the jobs are being created by this sector. So that is the economic growth. And but if you see the future, as per the Government of India document, so they have targeted $1 trillion from the tourism sector only. That means it has to be 10 times more in 2047. So that is the vision. So we have to see this sector from that demand and supply point of view. So demand is use, but what is the supply? What is the supply? What is the quality of the supply? Because ecotourism not only provides the experience, it has to be authentic experience. It has to be experience embedded with the community, local community, and local community growth. So that is the overall context. It is not only earning the money with a responsibility to regenerate that area. So that is the context. So if you see the triangle, so triangle is, one is the conservation, one point. Second is your community, and third is your economy, education. So this education, conservation, and community makes a balanced triangle. So if you disturb one, so whole ecotourism concept will be disturbed. So at present, what are the challenges for the future? So I have just flagged 2-3 challenges, and I will request my experienced panelist and practitioner, they will elaborate on that. So first is, in my view, balancing the growth with sustainability, because number is used, demand is used, but there is hardly a quality supply. Quality supply means there is a lot of greenwashing. All eco-resort, they claim that we are adhering to the sustainability principle, but they are not. So there is a greenwash in this area. And only 1% of the total, you can say the ecotourism sector partners, they adhere to their standards. So there is a lack of a standard, there is no enforcement of the standards, and I will say that the future, the climate change is going to play a major role. So we have to just, we have seen in Manali, Kulu, all our destinations, ecotourism destinations are in a critical area. So they are very prone to any climate change. So we have to think over that also, and I will request my panelists to shed some light on that aspect. How to have a resilient ecotourism in the future. And third factor, I will say, the skill development in the ecotourism. Livelihood and skill is very, very important. But because all the experience are given by the local guides. Local guide is the kingpin of giving your experience. So is there any certified course in that? What are the standards that we are following for the tour operator, for the eco guide, for the eco resort owner? So what are the present conditions? Because this challenge will grow in the future also. And I will also request one of the panelists to throw on light, what is the policy framework in India? Because there is one, ministry has formulated ecotourism strategy in 2022. There is no policy as such, there is no action plan how this strategy can be achieved. So there is a huge gap in the policy framework also. So that is a very concerning area. So we will discuss that also. And with these remarks, I just open the discussion, and I will request all the panelists to share their experience.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. You have given us a very comprehensive macro picture of the whole thing. But जैसे कहते हैं, हर चीज़ की शुरुआत एक माइक्रो लेवल से होती है. And we all know सेजल मैम जो हमारे साथ यहाँ पर हैं, और we all know her about for her WWF work and टाइगर को बचाने के लिए जो ये करती आई हैं. बट एक माइक्रो लेवल पर एक बहुत बढ़िया चीज़ें करें, जिसके बारे में हमने थोड़ी देर पहले 1-to-1 हम जब बात कर रहे थे सर. तो मैम, आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट यू टू प्रेजेंट द प्रेजेंटेशन विच यू हैव ब्रॉट, कि आप कैसे एक माइक्रो लेवल पे एक छोटी सी जगह में इकोलॉजी, इको टूरिज्म और लोगों को जोड़ रही हैं.
It's a very unique model, but there are lessons from it which are common for everybody, you know. So this is what I'm going to do. Just take you on a very quick journey through this little experiment of ours. So this model was set up to demonstrate tourism, building awareness, creating skills, supporting local livelihoods, and conserving forests and biodiversity. I am a conservationist. So for me, the last point is the most important one. The fact that through tourism, we are also trying to do forest restoration and conservation. So, you know, people often see tourism as a negative force. But surprisingly enough, and I was one of those, frankly, before I started this, I used to be very anti-tourism. But actually, when it's managed properly, tourism can actually be a force for good. So the question is how you're designing and managing it. It's not tourism per se, which is bad, but the way it's run that often causes problems. So this is an initiative that is set up on a private forest. And this is in itself an interesting idea, because this was something that I came up with when I came back to Mussoorie after 20 years. I saw how badly developed the area was. This is a small patch of forest we used to visit when we were small children. And I decided that something should be done about it. So I contacted the owner of this forest and I proposed the idea that we should actually conserve this forest through some kind of a model, and he agreed. So that's how we set this up. So this is the conservation area. It's tiny. But the most important thing is, what is the business model? Because agar aapko ecotourism karna hai, to what is your business model? We decided very clearly from the beginning that our business model was going to be nature walks. We were not going to sell Maggie, we were not going to set campsites, we were not going to do any of that. We were simply going to do nature walks done by the local villagers. So the local youth would conduct these nature walks. That was our business model. Everybody laughed at me when I did this, including my whole family. They said, don't be stupid. Why will anybody pay to go for a walk near Mussoorie? They can walk anywhere. So aapke jungle mein chal ke, why will they pay you to go for these walks? So I said, look, I don't have any other model, let me try it. So we decided to go ahead with this business model. Anyway, so then we set up the trails. We created little nooks and crannies, very minimal infrastructure. There is nothing there which is pakka. Everything is just like this. It's completely natural. We then trained, as I said, the local youth in nature guiding, bird watching. Again, you know, our own courses, formal, informal, whatever training we could give them, we gave. We also created jobs for the local community. Everybody in the reserve is local. All the employees are completely from the local area, from the villages around. And also, it's very important in tourism to have interpretation material. I can't tell you how frustrated I get when I go to so many beautiful places and I have no idea what am I looking at. So we made sure that there was good interpretation material that was available to anybody who came to that reserve. And then, of course, we also needed local support. So we had a grand opening. We called the minister. You know, we publicized the fact that Uttarakhand was getting its first private nature reserve. Ye sab kiya humne. And we started our nature walks. As I said, these walks were the only product that we were selling. We were not selling anything else except nature walks. Kya hua? So our trails are now looking beautiful, no trash, no litter. Regeneration is happening, and all of you know that in India, if you leave the forest alone, you give it a chance to recover, the forests will come back very quickly. And immediately we started seeing the forest recovering the minute the pressure was taken off. Yeah. So the canopy, this was a completely open canopy. It is now 15 years later, a nice dense canopy, 50 species of ferns, over 100 species of mushrooms, 350 species of flowering plants, grasses, which is very exciting because in the Himalayas, you know, the grass gets cut every September. Pata nahi chalta hai ki what are the species of grasses. We have over 40 species of grass, 160 species of birds, over 200 species of moths. Ye sab humne document kiya hai. And then, of course, the wildlife that we are most interested in is what is the condition of the wildlife. When we started, we removed something like 100 to 120 snares from the forest. It was full of snares for catching wildlife and hunting. Once all that was stopped and we created these small microhabitats, initially, of course, the wildlife started coming at night. Very exciting to see some of these creatures coming on our camera traps. So probably almost all the wildlife that you would find in the middle Himalayas started visiting our forest, including things that we did not expect, like the jungle cat. This jungle cat is at 8,000 feet, which is quite unusual to see them at this height. Sambar coming up to that height. So we started seeing all this wildlife coming back to the area. And then again, what got more exciting is that the wildlife started coming in the daytime. So our cameras started capturing wildlife in the day, which means that it was starting to feel like more a secure place. Rare to see wild boar in the daytime, as you know. Pine martens, jackals, goral, leopard cat, bears with cubs, again sambar in the daytime, leopards roaming around in broad daylight. Very unusual interactions between different species of wildlife. We've recorded many interactions between wildlife, different species of wildlife interacting with each other. Most beautiful thing here is how close it is to the town. So we have the lights behind are the lights of Mussoorie city. So you're seeing these animals and wildlife in a secure space just across a very large, bustling tourism town. And here, you know, we see all kinds of things. We see bears, we see leopards, and we have no instances of conflict recorded. Local economy. People talked about the fact that tourism should not only support conservation, but should also support the local economy. This is the local dhaba where we started. This is what it looks like now. So a lot of transformation has happened in the area where people have now started responding to the tourists who are coming to the area, and the whole area is transformed. Forest fires. Earlier when we used to have fires, people would say, aapka jungle hai, aap dekho. You know, forest department, I would ask, and forest department is like, we've got 100 different fires to deal with. You know, we can't help you. And today, actually, when there is a fire or a hint of a fire, the whole community is out there even before I can reach to start putting out the fire. So the ownership aspect has become very important. We have become a space for sharing lessons. This is a group from CASFOS that recently came to look at the model. This is ITBP that is looking at the model. This is a group of trainees from NVIS, from the Ministry of Environment. But most importantly, this is a group of women sarpanches from different villages in Uttarakhand who have come to see this model to say कि हमारे पास भी जंगल है, हमारे पास भी पंचायत वन है, why can't we do something similar? And we are very excited that we can actually replicate this model all over Uttarakhand. In any patch of forest that you have, this can be done. So we have also been working with the panchayats to see how we can replicate this model. Interestingly, we've had no dissatisfied visitors. You remember I told you people said nobody will buy your model. Nobody will pay to come to this area. We have tentatively been increasing our entry fee little by little, very scared. But so far, actually, everybody is satisfied. And I'll tell you why also in a second, why people actually like the model. But so far, it seems to be working. For me, the biggest transformation has been these boys. So these boys are my nature guides. So they're from the villages around. And today, when you look at this team, they are cats. They are now role models for the entire community. And they themselves will tell you, our confidence levels, our knowledge, the respect that we get from visitors who come, it has completely changed our approach to life. It has now become like a career. And earlier, many of these, they were either washing dishes in a dhaba, or somebody was, unemployed, somebody was doing something else. Today, these guides are my biggest asset, I would say. Recently, we got a national award for Best Ecotourism Enterprise. This is the young boy from a village near the area who had never traveled outside of his town before, who has gone to Kutch to get this award. And also very exciting for me is that these young boys are now trainers. So from being trainees, they are now training others from the community, others from villages around Uttarakhand on ecotourism. Here is one of my team members teaching them how to use a camera trap. And this is, for me, this is the future. These are the people who are going to make or break the way tourism is practiced. Encouragement, I just need that encouragement. We do joint events, we do tree planting. Jo bhi hai, it is a very important tacit approval of what we are doing. Outreach is very important. CASFOS sends people, IGNFA sends people, the department constantly sends people. So that is extremely important for us in terms of outreach. And then finally, the promotion that we get, like this event. I'm so grateful for having this chance to talk to all of you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
So thank you
That's
so much.
quite inspiring and wonderful work you're doing. निशांत जी, आपके उत्तराखंड में इतना अच्छा काम हो रहा है और आप लोग भी इतना शानदार काम कर रहे हैं. कुछ देर पहले हम चर्चा कर रहे थे कि आप लोग कैसे कम्युनिटीज़ को पास ला रहे हैं, उनको हेल्प कर रहे हैं, उनको डेवलप कर रहे हैं इको टूरिज़्म में, और सरकार उनके लिए एक बहुत ही बेहतरीन एक नीति लेकर आई है. सो उसके बारे में हमें बताइए.
धन्यवाद मनोज जी. I'll just briefly talk something the recent innovations that have taken place in the state of Uttarakhand and the forest department. As we all know that there are three main components of ecotourism. One is the conservation, livelihood and sustainable development. And Uttarakhand, with its rich biodiversity and forestry landscapes, offer and also we have a community-led governance of the one panchayats also through one panchayat. So it offers very several case studies across the different districts, several models that can be replicated in other parts of the country also. The philosophy of ecotourism in Uttarakhand is basically rejuvenate, revitalize the mind, body and soul. And as we know that it is blessed with abundance of forest and nature beauty, also clean air. And so the main potentials that the Uttarakhand state has vis-a-vis ecotourism are nature trail, heritage trail, then trekking and mountaineering. That is also one of the important activity. Then bird watching. I mean, more than 728 species of bird as per the recent checklist that has come out. So it offers lot of different kind of potentials for ecotourism. And the strategy that we have adopted in Uttarakhand is basically we are keeping the rest houses. We have got a vast network of rest houses, more than 250 rest houses, and they are in a very scenic locations also. So what we are doing is basically restoring the architecture, the heritage of the old forest rest houses. And in that camping area, we are developing various kind of, infrastructure for nature and eco camping. That is one. Then what we are doing is we are going in for nature trail and heritage trail also in the locations. Then we are developing standard signages also. Signages for the tourist, like Madam was talking about, interpretation is one of the key component for ecotourism development. Then the vast network of nature guides, housekeeping and cooking training, capacity building for the local youth. That is also one of the strategy that we have adopted. So recently what happened is to promote the ecotourism in the forest area, the state government has come out with a notification with the Geo, Sashnadesh, in June 2023, where it is said that the total revenue which comes out from the ecotourism activity in any destination, I mean, it has to be managed by the local one panchayat or the eco development committee that is there. And then 80% of the revenue goes to for the operation and maintenance of that site, and a huge amount of which will go to the community. So it is a remarkable step, in terms of finding livelihoods for the local people, and lot of good case studies have come up. I will just cite two examples and the statistics also that I am having. Although in the whole of Uttarakhand, we have identified 32 sites in the 13 districts of Uttarakhand, in which in the first phase we are going for 16 sites, and this infrastructure development and development of trails and all is going on. But I will just talk about two sites. One site is Fato Safari, which has come up in January 2022. And you see that after the development of this site, I mean, lot of tourists who are coming to the Corbett Tiger Reserve. Now, because it is in the vicinity of the Corbett Tiger Reserve, so lot of tourists are coming to this area. And one figure I have that since its inception, more than 5,60,000 visitors have come, and that has generated a revenue of 7.7 crore till now. And the eco camp which is there, that again resulted in a revenue of 70 lakhs. So basically I want to say that a simple initiative, can bring a huge change in the local economy. And it generates a lot of local employment also. Just to give you a small figure, that we have more than 950 nature guides all over the state, and the local youth, they are getting benefited in the form of engagement as guide, then gypsy and SHG also. So this kind of community driven ecotourism model can be adequately replicated in other areas also, based on the site specific changes that can be done there. Thank you.
Wonderful, sir, wonderful. Since such initiatives have proved that how communities can come together, they can do conservation or also benefit from the ecotourism at the same time. I would like to ask Anup ji. Anup ji, you told me a very wonderful story. I mean, your past experience at Periyar National Park, though you are currently with Ranthambore National Park. I think that story will inspire us if you share the same story with our audience.
I happened to work in Periyar Tiger Reserve, and that was probably the best of ecotourism programs run by the forest department in the country, I would say. This started somewhere in year 2000. The small islands that we protect, the islands of greenery that we protect, are surrounded by dissatisfied people whose rights were terminated overnight by us, our legislations. So however much we try to protect the forests by excluding them, the more the pressures we face, we all know that. So why not use they were obviously involved in destructive activities, from poaching to extraction of bark trees, hunting, everything. And they know the forest in and out better than us. They know how to move in the forest at night. So the department thought, why not use their skills and give them employment in tourism to take the tourists inside. So that was the genesis of the program called Tiger Trail in Periyar. Some 6 men will take a group of tourists. They'll camp inside the forest, no protections given, not even a trench around to keep away the elephants. And it is 25 years now, not even a single person has been harmed by any wild animal, because they know where to camp, where to safely keep the tourists. So this is how the very low intensity programs started. Now this has expanded. I was very impressed by Madam's presentation. That is what ecotourism is. Just by adding the word eco before tourism, we cannot make ecotourism. What is happening in Ranthambore is not at all ecotourism, that's tourism. Some more in recent parlance, when we read about ecotourism, we say it's a responsible tourism to wilderness, benefiting the local communities and all that. A little bit more we can add. It should be a socially acceptable tourism, and there should be economic viability. Economic viability is very important. You cannot train the young people and keep them waiting for the guests, and after some time they'll all leave. Now the cities, especially the places like Noida, Gurgaon, those people who are working in cubicles, they need to get out. They are looking for driving destinations from Delhi. What we thought as will be sufficient for parking the vehicles for next 25 years in Bharatpur got filled in just 2 years. That is the amount of traffic we are getting. And you flood an area with tourists, they are not going to come back again, or at least out of no other choice, they might come again. But the very small intensity programs, small trekkings, small bird watching trails, stays in machans, all these are available, and you start with identifying the people who are having maximum impact, negative impact on the forest, concentrate on them, and a dedicated team should train them. They should spend their entire time in designing that program, implementing it. It is not the job of a working forest officer. It should be done by a separate dedicated wing. Otherwise, you are bound to fail. And the importance of money we realized. All these programs, when we do, we collect the money directly from the tourists, and all the guides employed are paid by us. 10% of the money we kept as a reserve. And believe me, during the COVID period, during the close down, when no tourists were coming to India, we paid the full salary for the entire period for the watchers employed in tourism. So that money component you cannot forget in bringing success to any tourism program like this. Everywhere, there is no other employment opportunity we can give to these people. In states like Rajasthan, where only mining is the option for people. 15 tigers in Ranthambore tourism area, it's supporting more than 30,000 direct employment. So such a potential you cannot get anywhere. So little bit of, I would say, to transfer the ownership, or to involve more of the feeling that this is my forest, the existence of this forest is mine. This feeling we have to inculcate in the minds of the people. That is giving them employment from that resource is the only opportunity. This is the principle with which we have to proceed.
Very good, sir. So this is not only conservation but also co-creation, awareness, and lot of education. Now, whenever we go for any tourist spot, हम लोग वेबसाइट पे जाते हैं, होटल्स रेस्टोरेंट्स देखते हैं और ये देखते हैं कि उसको कितनी रेटिंग मिली है, यूज़र रेटिंग कितनी है, लोगों ने क्या एक्सपीरियंस दिया है. बट क्या कभी हम ये भी देखते हैं कि वो वाकई में जो खुद को इको टूरिस्ट या रिसोर्ट के नाम से बेच रहे हैं वो सर्टिफाइड हैं या नहीं। और कम से कम मुझे तो आज तक नहीं पता था, जब तक कि मैं दीपिका जी से नहीं मिला, कि इसके लिए भी सर्टिफिकेशन है। और अगली दफ़ा जब हम इस तरह के रिसोर्ट्स की बुकिंग करें तो हम ज़रूर ये देखें कि वो सर्टिफिकेट है क्या। सो दीपिका जी, यू आर डूइंग वंडरफुल वर्क एंड आई वुड वांट you to explain to the audience travel operators for tigers क्या कर रहे हैं और ये सर्टिफिकेशन कितना इंपॉर्टेंट, किस तरह से हेल्प कर रहा है न सिर्फ लाइवलीहुड को बट ऑल्सो फॉर द कंजर्वेशन एंड अवेयरनेस।
Namaskar everyone. Thank you so much for your question. I'll just give a brief introduction of TOFT, which is Travel Operators for Tigers. This was started by Julian Matthews. He's a UK resident. In 2005, we are celebrating the 20th year this year. And when we started, our aim was to create a B2B pressure on the community. So which will result not only in conservation and also result in providing a livelihood to the locals and also creating pressure on the stakeholders. Because ecotourism, as you said, it is not only just a label, it is a credibility. It is something which is the need of the hour, and it is for the future of our planet. We need to follow the tourism and sustainable practices. So what we started was we launched a certification program which is called PUG certification. This was launched in India and Nepal in 2008. However, Global Sustainable Tourism Council, which is one of the largest body for sustainable tourism, they recognized our criteria as a credible criteria and gave us recognition in 2015 July. So, but we had been working in this field and we were doing the certification program. So slowly, we started with few lodges, and now over the years we have got around 80 to 90 lodges from various national parks who have taken up this certification. And actually, this is a journey. When we started doing the certification, our aim was not to just give them a certification. Our job was to guide them and educate them how they can take this journey towards sustainability and create livelihoods for locals, and also at the same time provide a great experience to the travelers. So this certification has 3 levels where we have good, quality and outstanding. So we start with good if the lodges are following certain criteria, and these criteria are about 80 to 90 criteria which are recognized by the GSTC. So they follow these criteria. Our team, which is a third-party auditors team, and they are all recognized by GSTC. They go to the particular lodge, they take an appointment, go there, stay overnight, and see what kind of work they have done, and also guide them what they can do. So by the end of the trip, after they come back, they provide them a full report, which is about a very lengthy report. And in that report, they inform them that these are the steps which you have taken, which are very good, and these are the steps which you can take further to improve. So, for example, electricity management, waste management, providing support to local communities, etc. So this is for the lodges, and all our certificated lodges are now listed on various big platforms like booking.com and all. They give them a green label. So these lodges are listed there. So a traveler, which is now a well-aware traveler, and they are also putting pressure on the lodges and on the tour operators that we want to stay in lodges which are following the sustainable practices. So this is a kind of pressure which we wanted, and we are now happy that this is the kind of pressure which even the travelers are demanding. So, for the travel agent community, we have tied up with an organization which is a European organization called Travel Life. And for tour operators also, there is a certification criteria. So there is a huge demand for sustainability and sustainable itineraries from the international community now. So in fact, we are very glad that one of our first Travel Life partner organization is from Kerala. So that was the only organization which first took up this certification, and their business grew multifold.
Very good.
Yeah.
So I think that completes the whole circle, and Indian forest officers, they are doing their work. Private individuals like you and ma'am, you guys are contributing equally into the whole mission. Now I think we have already eaten into the next session's time. So I will request Bhushanji to conclude the session with his remarks.
Thank you all. And actually, we have touched mainly all aspects of the ecotourism. And what I was thinking that the future of the ecotourism is regenerative tourism. So that is the new concept that has come. And that is being practiced by Mrs. Sejal in near the Mussoorie. So that is one of the example of regenerative tourism, because the fundamental ecotourism has started to minimize the negative effect. But now the concept has come to give a positive effect. So how we can regenerate the area through our access, that is the future. So regenerative ecotourism or regenerative tourism, that is being practiced. That is point number one. Point number two, there is a huge policy gap by the at the level of because these are the matter of the two ministry. Ecological is the Ministry of Environment and Forest. Tourism is dealt by the tourism. But Ministry of Tourism has come up with a strategy, but there is no action plan. So they talk about assessment of the state, ranking, certification, but there is no incentive for certification, because certification takes a lot of time and a lot of money also. So unless and until the state subsidizes that or encourages that, it will not happen in India. So that is point number two. And three, I strongly feel that we have to go beyond tiger. So nowadays, ecotourism means tiger tourism. So we have to go beyond tiger. Tiger is important, but not only tiger is important. So we have to sensitize the visitor that besides tiger, in addition to tiger, what are the other things? We have to focus on lesser animal, to the flora, to the ecosystem, how regeneration happens. So that storytelling has to be done by the practitioners, by the manager. That is point number three. Point number four, I will say that the concept of ecotourism at present is premium tourism, because there are certain ecotourism lodges, you can't afford it. For example, Kabini. It has started with a modest beginning, but now it has come to a premium product. So we have to think very seriously whether we want that type of model or we want a model where education should be the focus. Education for the youngsters should be the focus. So that is the fourth challenge. Fifth, I will say that the naturalist, there has to be certified school for the naturalist training. There is hardly any. One has started in Bangalore, naturalist school. That has been started by Priyanka, some name is there. Fifth, I strongly feel that we have to give some best model for region-wise, because there can't be one model for one region. So we can have 4 or 5 model, which we will advocate to the state government. And state and union has to be a partner in developing an enabling factor, because that is very, very important. Unless and until that policy framework comes, this will not be developed in a sustained manner. Okay? So, because there is a limitation for the private persons to do, because it costs a lot of money in certification. And lastly, I will say that there is a new trend in the ecotourism. We have to be aware of that. Small groups, impact study group, bird watching is developing as a niche market for that. So all these trend has to be considered by the manager of the area, and because a lot of things happening beyond the forest. For example, in Northeast, when you go, forest people don't know how the Mayodhya Pass is being visited by the visitor. I also visited that area, but forest department is totally unaware of that. No data capture, no training, no support system is there. So a lot of things are happening outside the forest, But forest department should be able to encourage those things also. Thank you very
sir.
much.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.